think that Drake was coming out tonight? It's funny because the affiliate snitch can't even snitch right. What up YouTube, Topaz Yates back for another review, and this one is to that Jaden Cool Takes Volume 3. And before I can jump into this review, first I gotta give you context on why I feel these ways about these songs that he's delivering here. But if you feel as though you already know enough about Jaden and don't need my context, then feel free to fast forward to this point here where you can go straight into the review. So Jaden, as he wants to be known, as though he was Cher or something. A lot of you on this channel may only remember him from the song that he did not that long ago, that Icon joint, and I wouldn't blame you because that was a smash hit that everyone heard about at the time, but yet he hasn't really had anything as notable since then. And to be real with you, the project that fell under was Sire, and that was easily Jaden's best work to date. It was so good that years later he decided to do the inverse of that project, which was pretty solid. Like, what he did was take the same exact concepts of all of the songs and flip them all. Conceptually, it was very well done, but the album songs didn't pan out as much. Now, the reason why I feel as though his status didn't continue to climb is because of what he did with that Sire project. Now, what he did was he took his limited skill set that he had, where he's lacking in lyricism, in delivery, in flow, and he took it and swagged it all the way out and was able to make a limited style that was able to craft a hit out of it, and people really rock with it. But yet the problem with that is when you do that, you lack the progression necessary to continuously drop different kinds of hits. This is why it's important for you to get the core fundamentals, the core basics down, so when you do hit with one, you can keep coming back to back and back with more hits, so you can keep climbing instead of having to take time for progression and growth in order to do something anywhere near as close. And he simply just hasn't been able to do it. Where Jaden's whole skill set has been based around doing experimental branding of hip-hop that you see in the likes of, say, Kid Cudi, to Tyler the Creator, to the list goes on. You could even put Kanye West in that list from some albums. But that brings us to this project here, the Cool Tapes Volume 3, where this is a love project where he's veering in a completely different direction, but yet he's still on the same skill level. I mean, just because you're doing different songs, as this is a complete love story that he's telling here, doesn't mean that you've progressed in the core fundamentals, so you're going to be lacking just on different songs though. Think of this as the less talented Love Below, where it begins with the circa 2015, where what this song ultimately does is establishes the timeline. Because as I said, Sire came out in around 2017-ish, so this takes place 2 years before Sire even happened. So he's giving us a prelude to who he was. The next interesting song I would say off this project would be Lucy, but not in a good way. Because Lucy has that old doo-wop feel to it, but not the 40s, 50s doo-wop that black people actually had and ran with and stuff. This feels like the doo-wop that the white people came in and took from us. Now, a song that was interesting was In the Hills. Like, I enjoyed the production, I enjoyed a lot about it, but the main thing that I really did not like is the fact that it never dropped. If he would have dropped it and brought it back to hip-hop, I think it would have took the song to a whole nother level and made it 10 times more potent, but he just simply was not going in that direction for the bulk load of this album. As this song is talking about trippy love, where, you know, you be high or drunk on something and you feeling this individual person, but then after that effect has worn off, you don't even hear from this person for a whole nother week. I'm sure a lot of us have experienced that. Now, my absolute favorite song off this was That Deep End, where this is the same thing as when you have a friend that you always was close with and then they just disappeared for like years on end, and then they come back and they tell you that they was just with some girl or whatever, man. That's them diving off the deep end to be with this individual person. So much so that you lose yourself, you lose your friends, you lose everything because you're so consumed with that person. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. It's something that people tend to go through as well. But the last song I want to touch on here is The Boys and Girls. Not because it's one of my favorite songs, because it's not. It's actually one that I would hope that people would stop making at this point. Because what this song is ultimately about is, let's be friends, let's hold hands together, let there be peace and equality, and everything can be all good here. But when you see us getting murdered or shot 7 times in the back, all over the news, everywhere, and this has been constantly happening for all of these years, you hoping for this is not a good thing. Like, it's a full-fledged war that's going on out here, and those of you who's wanting peace and wanting to be like this, you're the first ones who's getting smoked. And you know, I could delve into that for hours, but instead rather delve into these bars. See, Jaden reminds me of 20 grand vodka infused with cognac. By the way that they sell that, they're telling you on 2 things that many people do not believe should actually come together. And that's what Jaden does with his music. He's infusing a bunch of different genres that a lot of people don't think really coexist, but he makes it work to a degree. But the problem is, it's not authentic, dude. Like, when you look at the 20 grand vodka, you see on the back it says it's only 1% cognac. And then the flavoring and the coloring, that's all additional stuff that was added in. It's mainly vodka. And that's what you see when it comes to Jaden's music as well. Like, hip-hop has always been known for being the streets and being around all people and such. Jaden never had to see that. He was born in the industry. So all the issues and things that he talks about, a lot of people really just can't get with it because you really ain't been where the whole culture has always been. And the thing about that is, sometimes it works. I mean, a lot of people, especially his fan base, are not highly embedded into the culture. What they know is what he's delivering. So his music works for them, but it doesn't necessarily work for me and a lot of other people that's like me. But some of my favorite bars off this project is when he said, yo, we got a bad connection, we're breaking up. Well, that was a double entendre there, where he's talking about in terms of a cell phone call, like, I got a bad connection. Come on, we breaking up right now. But yet also in a relationship, like, yo, this is a bad connection that we're having together. We should really break up and see other people. Another bar that I felt was interesting is how he said he's the rap archaeologist. Old flows they ain't even thought of yet. Now, if we're going to nitpick, this doesn't make much sense. Like, you really don't want to be the archaeologist. You want others to be the archaeologists. Like, they need to be trying to discover the things that you already wrote. But I understand where you're trying to go with it, and I'm not going to nitpick. That's a decent train of thought. You just gotta get better to express these things. And then I also liked how he said he's talking to the ocean. I'm fluid and it's fluid. That one was self-explanatory and it wasn't all that potent, but yet the bars in this individual project was rather limited, you feel me? Like, I can see the direction. He's taking a different direction than what he's done before in all these projects. Like, he's being super creative, and that's one of his strengths as an MC. He's creative with everything that he touches. He's able to craft better things out of the fact that he's limited because he's creative. But yet, this is not going to justify the fact that you are not progressing. It's borderline past time for him to go ahead and get some ghostwriting. Go ahead and get some people to actually help him with his delivery and his flow. Show him how to do this so that he can continue to climb, because he still has the opportunity to do so. He still has the fan base. It's just, maybe it's too late for him to be on top of the music industry, but he can still make a rebound if he takes it more seriously and actually puts forth the work. But I don't see that coming. Overall, this project has some interesting moments, but we only talking one main song that I actually like, but 2 can pass. I give this one a 3 out of 10. One that you can lightly listen to, but nothing more than that.